Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys, checking out Tesla again. Things went pretty much according to plan. We're inside this daily upside trend here, bouncing back and forth. And yesterday's action saw us come down, test that trend line resistance. And one of two things can happen. Your trend will hold and you will see a response to the upside because you've simply run out of room inside your channel, or you're going to break your channel and see if you can't form a new one after that. In this case, we have seen that hold, and that makes a lot of sense when you look at the hourly time frame. Here we are, we come up against resistance, we trend all the way down, just dip underneath that level, and you're going to see these things move around. I find that the trading view trend lines tend to bounce back and forth, and they're only really trustworthy on the time frame on which you draw them, but you get the idea. We come down, test that trend line support, and now we're moving back to the upside with a potential target around 245. And if that holds, we'll look for a pullback and try and just do this again and see what happens tomorrow. So we're right in the middle of the pack here. No real clear direction other than the RSI is overextended on the hourly time frame, 74.37. So we will continue to look for higher lows, and we will use time frames to try and determine when we're going to get trend change. Right now I'm looking at 233.14 as my current higher low, and we want to see a pullback and set a new higher low above that level for strong upside continuation. As you can see over here, we had that big drop, or sorry, a big pop, and then we set a new low, came back up to test resistance, finally losing that higher low, and then a big drop, continually setting lower lows, lower highs. Eventually that changes with this 231 price level that was beaten after a support test and move to the upside. You can keep doing this on smaller term time frames as well to try and really hone in when you're going to see a trend change, and using those trend changes and recognizing when those are happening in conjunction with your overall trend lines on the daily time frame really give you a nice little window into when you can start planning and making and executing your trades. That's it for Tesla today. We'll check out tomorrow. If this thing keeps moving the way it has been moving, I think we may actually test that trend line support, trend line resistance tomorrow. But ultimately, it's going to come down to what SPY does today. All-time highs reached, a little bit of a strong rejection from that level, and we need to see if bulls are going to try again, or they're going to take that opportunity to consolidate on the daily time frame, in which case we may see a little bit of weakness in an overall very aggressive move from Tesla today. That's it. If you like charts, I like charts. I like talking about them. Check out our website, TheChartGuys.com. I think I'm running out of words, so I'm going to cut this video short now. Thank you very much for watching. Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys, checking out Apple. I almost said I was Apple checking out TheChartGuys. Here we are. We're looking at the daily time frame, and the video yesterday said what? We're underneath, for our open, underneath our ascending daily trend, but it's okay when we open as long as we close inside. We don't know why these things open where they do. Sometimes the market just decides that things are going to be in a position and everyone falls in line, and it's quickly corrected when everyone seems to agree that these prices are lower than they should be, that dip gets bought up, and the day closes well inside that trend line. That's exactly what happened here on Apple, and we can see that momentum carries into today's price action, and we have a nice day at open at 201 and a close at 203.23, looking pretty good. So far this daily trend is holding. Things are looking very nice. On the hourly time frame, we can see, and let's adjust our chart a little bit. Zooming in and out tends to adjust my trend lines here. So here we are, higher highs, 205.08. We pull back, break our higher lows, drop all the way down. Our pre-market low, 197.06, sees us opening below the trend line, get back inside, and today we are establishing our nice trading range, a current high of 203.73, and that is going to be the key resistance for us tomorrow as we look to continue this move to the upside. If the overall market tends to agree with that, we did have all-time highs today, so a pullback is not going to be unexpected. Since we hit that nice 299 level, we may get an attempt at 300 tomorrow. I don't know, but we need to be prepared for every sort of scenario. Now, if the bulls continue to show strength, there's no reason why we would expect the Apple bulls not to do the same, in which case we will be looking for a resistance at the high, speculative high 207.20, which would be a substantial move if we managed to get all of that done tomorrow. But really, on the hourly time frame, not a lot of resistance once you're past 203.73. If the market is weak, we are going to look for trendline support 201.47, and on the 4-hour time frame, we have support down here at $2.25. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Not much to talk about other than the fact that things went according to plan and with this trend line resistance and support, and we will continue to see how long this works for us. Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys. We're taking a look at Amazon. This is a ticker that we covered in our TNA question and answer session today at chartguys.com. So I have the ideas fresh and ready to go. So why not share them with everyone? And the question was, Amazon's going crazy. When do we recognize, or how can we recognize that a pullback might be happening? And when do we decide to get into a short position? So what we talked about was the fact that our daily RSI level is pretty crazy. We're at 74. And we can see that historically, we don't like to be up at that level before having any consolidation. So technical analysis is essentially based on the fact that things that have happened before are going to happen again. And we can use indicators to try and track certain conditions in a non-visual format, re-represented into a visual format. It may not make a lot of sense, but what I'm trying to say is that price action doesn't always have to look the same, but ultimately it's going to have the same effect on certain indicators like the RSI. So we can be overbought way over here, we get a pullback, another overbought condition, pullback, and these sections don't quite look the same. But we do know that every time we get into a position where our RSI is over 70, it really doesn't matter if this is Amazon or Bitcoin or whatever, things tend to pull back to a mean. The market is always trying to find that mean and never really knows what it is, but it's always in search of that perfect level. So the RSI currently at 74 on the daily time frame. We know that when we're over 70 on the daily time frame, we want to see some cooling, so that's expected. Go to the 4-hour time frame, RSI is at 82. Anytime this happens as well, we see a little bit of consolidation, if not outright downside movement. So again, expected. Hourly time frame. Hourly time frame is at 77. We hit a high of 78, 77 over here, consolidated nicely to the side. Finally got back into a more respectable area, 67.37 on our hourly RSI, only to pop back up again. And what is the problem with this pop? Where are we working toward that we're concerned about? That's going to be these resistance levels over here at 2033. Let's mark that guy in there. And another one at 2050. So historical areas of resistance that have acted as obstacles before are likely to act as obstacles again. Normally not too much to be concerned about. Those get broken through all the time. But when your RSI is overextended on your daily, 4-hour, hourly, and all the sub time frames, that means that bulls have used up a lot of effort and momentum to get to this position. So they may not have the juice to finish a move and break through that level without the opportunity to pull back and consolidate those RSI levels. So when we're looking at this situation, we see our daily is overbought, our 4 hours overbought, and I'm just now realizing that I may have been saying oversold this entire time when I meant to be saying overbought. So please forgive that. Hourly time frame overbought. All right, so now what do? We know that we're coming up against an area of major resistance. We start to look for signs of trend reversal. So here is our first move. We get a nice little bull flag that carries over into after hours. We see that bull flag continue, and now we're starting to see a little bit of a rounded top right near that area of resistance, 2033.19. Right now, this doesn't mean a lot to us. This can just be hourly consolidation and just a nice little rounded tightening range. No loss of levels, no loss of trend. Everything's so far looking good. We go to the 15-minute time frame. What do we see? We're seeing higher highs, higher lows. Nothing has changed for us quite yet. So far, everything is working out, and we will look for a trend change on the 15-minute time frame if we lose 2015.93. 5-minute time frame, things start to look a little bit different. Here we have a higher low, and then finally we get a higher high, but we lose that pattern of higher lows. So we have dipped below, maybe just barely. Let's take a look at that. 2015.90, 2015.93. Okay, so we have not actually broken that higher low. It's very close. So our 5-minute trend is intact. We're seeing higher highs, higher lows, except here we've got a higher low. So now we have to be open to the idea that we are going to see a trend change, and that's going to be first represented by the smallest time frame. And in this case, we're going to use the 5-minute time frame. So if we come back down, set this as our lower high at 2022, and we break 2015.93, what that is going to say is that this trend that has been bringing the 5-minute chart up all of this time, something is changing, and we're going to see either sideways movement or a shift to a downtrend, in which case it will carry over to the 15-minute time frame. and we will lose. Having lost 2015.93, we will look for support at 2005. If we lose that, then we jump to the hourly time frame. That is also an hourly support. So the next hourly support is going to be at 1981. So we go down here, lock in that level. Then we go to the 4-hour support. You know what? That's also a 4-hour support. And then we start looking for 4-hour supports. And if all of these things come to pass, eventually your price tends to pull back from that 2033 level, knocking out all of those time frames, slowly dawdling around. And when you go to that daily level, there's your daily consolidation. So that's how we're going to be using those daily and sub-daily time frames. So the 5, 15, looking for trend changes on those levels in order to sort of get an idea of when we could look at entering a short position. So if you see a nice trend change on the 15 or the 5-minute chart, let's go take a look again. So let's say we see one right now, we knock out 2015.93. You can look for a little bit of a bounce because sometimes things just sort of dawdle back and forth as they do in a trend. Look for that reversal up here, enter a short position, and just set a stop on your next higher high. So if the bulls manage to get back into control, resume their upward trend and set a high over 2022, you know that this is not going to be that area of major reversal on the daily time frame, and you take your small loss and try again. But if you're correct, that is going to be that most recent lower high. You're going to see another lower high, lower low, and then the cascade effect carries on into the time frames that we just talked about a few seconds ago. So that's it for today on Amazon. If we manage to break through 2033.19, we have resistance up at 2050.50, and beyond that, who knows? It's going to be potentially blue sky, probably. Yep, a lot of potential. Amazon, huh? Go buy some stuff. Support Amazon, I guess, if you want to go up. Anyway, that's it. Have a good day, guys.